I'm attorney Chris Young with the law firm of Perry & Young, and tonight I have a good friend of mine, Zach Van Dyke, on the show with us. Zach specializes in veteran rights and helping the military and its members fight for rights that should be due and owing to them. So, Zach, we were laughing earlier. If my voice goes out, you're going to have to carry this show, because last night I was too busy rooting on the Tigers, and you probably don't want to hear that right now.
Well, that's okay. It was a great game.
It was a great game, man. So we'll try to do the best we can. But Zach, tell us a little bit about your practice and why that's important to people that are out of the military, needing some help, and needing an attorney.
Well, I practice in mainly two areas. One of them is veterans disability. The other one is family law.
Right.
Represent a lot of veterans on both sides of that equation. But VA disability is near and dear to my heart. I'm a disabled veteran myself. And when you get out of the military, they just want to push you out.
Right.
And you've got to know how to bring your claim forward and protect your rights and get what's owed to you for sacrificing your health for our nation.
You know, we were talking before the show, you know, the Camp Lejeune's a real big topic right now. Everybody sees a lot of commercials, you know, about, you know, file your claim with against the Camp Lejeune Act. But we'll get into that later in the show. But one of the things that you brought out was why we're now able to file these claims on behalf of veterans for the misconduct from our military, or our government, I should say. And how did that get passed? Well, I mean, why are we all of a sudden able to represent individuals and sue the military for misgivings against their service members?
Well, for years and years, there's a doctrine out there called the Ferris Doctrine. It prevented service members from suing the military. And in this particular law that President Biden signed back in August, it carved out an exception, and it said those service members that are or were at Camp Lejeune that have certain health problems, they're on a list, they can now sue. They can sue in federal court, they can make a claim, and it doesn't come back and affect anything they do on the side with the VA.
So we've talked about some of the Camp Lejeune processes in earlier shows about a month ago. And this, if you are able to file a claim and get your any type of benefits awarded to you under the Camp Lejeune Act, that does not affect your VA disability or your benefits, and you can still file for those benefits as well, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, and it may even, you may even be able to or strengthen a service connection claim with that, a disability claim.
Well, one of the things we were talking about, this Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 also had other things embedded in that act as also.
Correct.
The PACT Act, I believe that's what we were calling
it. Did,
right?
yes.
Explain to us what that act allows servicemen and women to do now.
Okay, so the PACT Act, and it's called PACT because it stands for Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics. And it spans a time frame from the most recent conflicts we had in Afghanistan and Iraq all the way back to Vietnam.
Okay.
From Agent Orange to burn pits and anybody who was exposed. It's pretty sweeping legislation as far as the VA is concerned.
So when you say sweeping legislation, what does that mean? I don't know that the typical person understands the how difficult it is to actually get benefits awarded to you, because you have to check so many boxes and satisfy so many elements. But now under this PACT Act, they've broadened the scope and actually allowed it, let's just say it easier for individuals who served in our military to file these claims.
Right, and what happens is, if you get a diagnosis for what we call a presumptive condition, it automatically gives service connection if you were in a certain place, okay? Like the Vietnam conflict, the guys in Vietnam, if they were actually in Vietnam or in the waters around Vietnam, they could make an Agent Orange claim. But we had a lot of people deployed to Cambodia, to Thailand, on airfields where these airplanes were landing and they were coated with Agent Orange. And it was getting all over those guys working on those planes on the airfield, and now they can make a claim. They can be redressed.
So even though they were exposed to the same toxins,
yes,
they were prohibited from filing claims under prior to this PACT Act. But now that the PACT Act,
Absolutely.
it allows those individuals to actually get benefits. So
Yes.
phone lines are open, 850-392-1544. You can always email us your question if you don't feel comfortable calling in at lawcall@WMBB.com.